Hey, it's NPR's Book of the Day. I'm Andrew Limbong. We all take things for granted. Well, maybe I won't speak for you, but I know I'm guilty of complaining about how, the curly fries at the bar by me don't taste as good anymore, when really the existence of curly fries themselves is a thing of beauty on this earth. James Parker is a staff writer at The Atlantic, and last year he came out with a book of poetry filled with appreciation for the little things in life. It's titled Get Me Through the Next 5 Minutes, Odes to Being Alive. And when I first listened to the first half of his interview with Here and Now's Anthony Brooks, I thought, oh, that's a cute and funny concept, writing odes to things that don't really matter. But then I realized, no, it's the little things in life that really do matter. More after the break.
This message comes from Sony Pictures Classics with East of Wall, written and directed by Kate Beecroft, an authentic portrait of female cowgirls and their resilience in the New West. Set in South Dakota's Badlands, it follows a rebellious young rancher who rescues horses and shelters wayward teens while navigating grief, family tensions, and the looming loss of her land. Now playing only in theaters.
This message comes from Ritual. Upgrade your supplement routine with Ritual's commitment to trust and traceability during their subscription sale site-wide. Get 40% off your first month of essentials at ritual.com/podcast.
Are you paying attention to the big things like history or America or Pablo Neruda or maybe quantum physics? And what about the little things like balloons or the way a refrigerator hums or the way your dog farts? These are all inspirations for Odes by writer James Parker. He describes them as short exercises in gratitude or in attention, which he says may in the end be the same thing. James Parker is an author and staff writer at The Atlantic, where his odes, beautifully written, often witty and always smart, were published on the inside back page of the magazine. His new book is a collection of many of them. It's called Get Me Through the Next 5 Minutes, Odes to Being Alive. And James Parker, thank you for coming in. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me, Anthony. What a thrill.
Well, it's a thrill for me. So let's start with the definition. What is an ode?
An ode, well, Pindar, the Greek, so they say, invented the ode back in, whenever it was, 500 BC. For him, they were ways to celebrate athletes. Basically, that's how it started. The winner of the chariot race, the winner of the boxing match, the winner of the pole vault, if that's what they did back then. I don't know. Right. So they began as ways of celebrating, basically. And, there have been many odes written in many different styles. But basically, I look on it as a way to get under the skin of things, through the membrane a little bit, and see what's wriggling around underneath.
Right. Now, your odes are not limited to big subjects. They're not exclusively small either. So I just want to read a short list of the titles of the odes in this book.
Yeah, and can I say the table of contents is what I'm actually most proud of in the whole book. I think that might be the best bit.
Well, it's a great bit, but it's all great. So here's from the table of contents. Ode to America, Ode to Falling Off a Horse, Ode to Meditation, Ode to the Pandemic, Ode to Brain Farts, Ode to My Flip Phone, Ode to Crying on Airplanes, which made me laugh out loud. Well, a lot of them did. And Ode to Cold Showers.
Yes.
So why don't we start there? And I was wondering if you could read a little bit from Ode to Cold Showers.
Yes. So I have a cold shower every morning, and it's been a great help to me in my life. And I'm not a prescriptive type of guy, but I actually really do recommend the cold shower if you can handle it. So this is midway. You're in the shower, or you've just turned it on and just climbed in. The water hits, and biology asserts itself. You are not a tired balloon of cerebral activity. You are a body, and you are being challenged. You gulp air. Your pulse thumps. Your brain, meanwhile, your lovely furry old brain, goes glacier blue with shock. Thought is abolished. Personality is abolished. You're a nameless mammal under a ravening jet of cold water. It's a species of accelerated mindfulness, really. In 2 seconds, you're at the sweet spot between nonentity and total presence. It's the cold behind the cold, the beautiful, immobile zero, a flame of numbness bending you to its will.
I love that. And we should say that the first half of the ode explains the way it used to be when you would wake up before you discovered the sort of ecstatic benefits of a cold shower.
Yeah. I mean, I have a great seam of sluggishness and depression in my personality, which I have to regularly attack with heavy metal or cold showers or poetry or whatever it may be.
So what kind of subjects lend themselves to an ode? When do you know that you have found a good subject for an ode?
When you're about halfway through writing it. I mean, there's a few that I've wanted to write forever and have for some reason been unable to. Ode to repetition. I'm always thinking about.
Well, tell me, we're going to read some others, but what was one that just really kind of hit the mark for you in terms of getting to what you refer to as the odeness?
I was very pleased to be able to write Ode to Coming Round on the Bathroom Floor, which is about fainting, which I had a little spell of fainting in my 30s. And fainting is ghastly, but coming round, for me at least, was very beautiful. A very orderly kind of restoration and generous, or so it felt, restoration of your faculties. And you end up kind of marveling at the solidity of the bathroom floor and the steadiness of the light and the coolness of the tiles and the base of the toilet, how kind of actual it is. And yeah, I love that. What that ends up being is an ode to kind of being at home in the universe, which I think we all are, basically, even though we don't feel it most of the time.
So I loved it that you gave us that history about Pindar the Greek, the originator of the ode.
Yeah.
You also mentioned in the introduction Horace the Roman. He
Yes.
also wrote odes. So did Keats.
Yeah.
And this is what I wanted to ask you about. Pablo Neruda, for whom you say the ode was more like a perceptual Swiss Army knife. It's like the ode is something super useful that can be sort of pulled out at any point in your existence.
Exactly. You pull it out of your back pocket and you get jimmying and you get chiseling and you get poking. And the idea is that you get through to the more essential layer of being.
So let's hear a few more of the very short ones, or at least a couple more. So can I read one? Super
Please.
short. So I love this one. Here's your ode to not drinking. I note the change when I resist my alcoholic whim. The mornings are more sparkling, but the evenings are more dim.
Yes. I mean,
That pretty well sums up the quandary for many of us.
right? Because, I mean, the times in my life when I've given up drinking, I thought, my God, how long is this day? Like, it's still going. But then, of course, if you do drink, you will pay the next morning promptly.
I love that. So some of these odes are written as short poems, some in prose.
Yeah.
Do they just come out that way, or do you decide that some subjects work better as prose?
No, they just kind of come out that way. Like I'll be banging bits of language together, and if it starts to rhyme, basically, then I know I'm in a poem.
Do you have a preference, though? I mean, do you like?
I am at my most psychologically healthy, I think, when I've just completed a poem. That's my optimum at that moment.
Nice. So I want to hear another one, and this is Ode to Hugs, which I absolutely love. And I just want you to read the sort of first half of that.
Ode to Hugs. Not everyone likes them as much as I do. I know that. Why should they? And I'm not totally crass. I am aware, sometimes, as I blunder in open-armed, as I surge uninvited into the ozone of another's bosom, of being received with a certain diffidence or stillness. There are non-huggers in the world. They exist. But me, I'm wired for hugs, and there's not a lot I can do about it. Full contact, lingering pressure, the works. With sound effects, if possible, a communion of groans, ribcage to rumbling ribcage. That's the kind of hug I'm always looking for. It was ecstasy that set me off, or opened me up, back in the raving 90s. In the clubs, in the warehouses, in the cellars of houses in the East End of London, I was a drug hugger, a hugging bug. Thrug, drug, bug, and then get snug in a hug. Shambling in bliss across those laser-tormented dance floors, floating through twists of dry ice, with my eyes turned to dizzy black discs, absolved from Englishness, absolved from private education, magically licensed to throw my arms around the nearest hard-looking rave geezer. What a feeling.
It's so great. And it goes on, so people are just going to have to get the book to read the rest of it. But say more about your ode to hugs.
Well, so ecstasy was a huge thing for me. It was a huge thing culturally. And yeah, so I was from a all-boys boarding school, great privilege, very expensively privately educated. And with the advent of ecstasy culture, suddenly everybody was going bananas and hugging each other and kissing each other and going wild on the dance floor. And that was a great deliverance for me. again, you pay, not in quite as prompt a manner as you do with alcohol, but you do pay in the end. The ode is also about that.
Right.
But it was very important to me. And that was the beginning of me being hooked on hugs, and that has never gone away.
The ecstasy, not so much, but the hugs are still here.
The ecstasy went away about 20 years ago, but the hugs are still there.
So you write that the point about ode writing, and I love this, is that it's a two-way street. You say the universe will disclose itself to you, give you occasions for odes, it will blaze with interest and applicability, but you've got to be ode ready.
Yeah.
So what does that mean to be ode
That
ready?
means, the rightness is all, basically. Like, you have to be in a state to receive what is coming at you.
So being ode ready means paying attention, being alert,
Being alert, paying attention, being in the moment. Don't use boring words.
Right.
Don't use other people's words. Use your own words.
Yeah.
Trust your own perceptions. Trust your own feelings. Trust your own insights. Trust your own ears and eyes. Yeah, all of that.
And are you thinking right now about your next ode?
No, I'm not. And I probably should be, because it's a good way of being. And I'm kind of at my best as a writer when I'm on the lookout for an ode, actually.
That sounds like good advice for anybody listening. Be on the lookout for your next ode.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
James Parker is a staff writer at The Atlantic. He's always ode ready. His new book is called Get Me Through the Next 5 Minutes, Odes to Being Alive. James, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anthony.
This message comes from Schwab. Everyone has moments when they could have done better. Same goes for where you invest. Level up and invest smarter with Schwab. Get market insights, education, and human help when you need it.
This message comes from Mint Mobile. If you're tired of spending hundreds on big wireless bills, bogus fees, and free perks, Mint Mobile might be right for you with plans starting from $15 a month. Shop plans today at mintmobile.com/switch. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5GB plan required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. This message comes from Warby Parker. Prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Glasses designed in-house from premium materials starting at just $95, including prescription lenses. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.